Good day, everybody. My name's JJ. Welcome to my very first Let's Play. And today we're going to be playing Grim Dawn. This is one of my favorite games from the indie market. Basically because it's very much like Diablo, which is another of my favorite games. But it's fairly unique. It has a lot of depth. It has a new DLC out. And it's just a lot of fun to play. You get to pick different classes. You get the dual class, which is great, which I really enjoy. And it's very open-ended. It's a big world, and so that's why I decided that this should be my very first Let's Play game. So as you can see, I've just created a new character. He's a blank slate. I don't know where he's going or what he's going to do, and we're going to start the intro and see what happens. So here we go.
We paid a heavy price, but the trap worked.
You seem surprised.
It's been a while since we've had a win. How long will it hold?
I've never entrapped a being like this. But the bonds hold, for now.
How do we dispose of it?
I'm just a witch. You're the soldier.
If it bleeds, I can kill it.
How do you kill a spirit, though?
If you kill the mortal vessel while it's bound, the spirit may perish within. If it escapes...
It's listening to us.
What are you?
Others of your kind name us ethereal.
Why have you invaded our world?
Your world. We existed first, but were managed by your corrupt gods. Your part opened the way, and now we return to reclaim what by right should be ours.
I've heard enough of this rubbish. Let's hang it.
Destroy this vessel, and I will find another. I have tasted its desires and emotions. Your kind is weak. You have already lost this war.
Do it.
Captain!
Cut him down.
What? Are you mad? Better safe than sorry.
The spirit has fled!
This is a human now.
The captain is correct. When they awaken, they won't remember a thing.
The ethereal was right. The war is lost. We're a resistance now, and we need every human survivor we can call to our cause. Maybe this one here can still die with some honor. If they ever wake up, send them to me. If they don't, bury him deep with the others.
Now that was an awesome intro. Let's see where this goes, shall we?
Still drawing breath, I see. You're one lucky bastard, I'll give you that. Best go speak to Captain Bourbon right away. He seems to have a plan for you now that we've spared your life. You were possessed, so we strung you up. Seems the spirit fled your body before your life ran out. I'd have left you to hang, but the captain had other plans. He sees some purpose in you, and I'm not going to argue. He's up the road, in the courtyard. Don't make me regret cutting you down.
Well, isn't he a sweetheart? See, doesn't this remind you of Diablo? It's got the same perspective. It's amazing. And the artwork is just gorgeous. Very atmospheric. Ah, there he is.
You're not looking too bad for someone just come back from the brink of death. You were taken, possessed by the same creatures that have been reanimating these zombies here. Normally, I'd have burned you with the rest to be safe, but we've lost too many people to the dead. I need someone expendable, someone with nothing to lose but a lot to gain. Right now, you're that person. Prove your worth to me, and the survivors of Devil's Crossing may just welcome you.
Oh, gee, thanks a lot.
The bodies of the dead are rising again in some horrible unlife. Corpses don't just get up and move around on their own. Something is reanimating our deceased with ethereal energy. We have observed the dead for some time, and they appear to be flooding Lower Crossing from the burial hill, just beyond town. I want you to go to the burial hill, find whatever is controlling these abominations, and destroy it.
Okay, so where can I find Burial Hill?
You will need to fight your way through Lower Crossing. Once you've crossed the stream on the far side of town, there will be a beaten path leading up to Burial Hill. I know I'm asking a lot of you, but I'd be asking a lot of my people to welcome you with open arms, too. Help us in our hour of need, and I will open Devil's Crossing to you.
Okie dokie. Off I go. Oh, this looks like a load of nope. Okay. So this is your inventory screen where you can also equip, weapons, armor, rings, bracelets, all that sort of thing. Over here you have your resistances, of which I have none right now. And we'll get into all this stuff later. Okay. Moving on. Uh-oh. The Walking Dead. Yay. Reminds me of a television show I've seen. Alrighty then. So look at the detail. Isn't that awesome? I love it. Alright. Lots of breakables here too. Also, a lot of these monsters don't like each other, which is good for us. Sit here and watch the show, but it takes forever for them to kill each other. Come here, buddy. There we go. Awesome. Nope. Sorry to interrupt the party. Ow. There we go. Okay, Crushers. And there we go. Our first level. Hang on until I destroy a few other bad guys there. There's one. Oop. Come here. There we go. Good to see you too. Bye-bye. Up. There we go. So once you hit your first level, or any level, you can go to your character window first, or your skills window. I go to the character window first. And you get 1 point that you can put in either physique, cunning, or spirit. As you can see, physique gives you strength. It also increases your health and the ability to regenerate wounds. Cunning is makes you better in combat. Also, for certain classes like rogue, etc., you need higher cunning to execute certain moves. Spirit is if you're going to use primarily a magic using class, which is kind of good and kind of bad because you can dual class in this game. I personally never start off with a magic using class as a primary class. I usually start off with a fighting class and then add something more magical to it later. But you can go any way you want to. I always start off with physique just to increase my my health, my hit points. See? Okay. And then you go on to the skills window. And here's your first, well, your only classes, but you can mix and match them later. So you have your soldier, who's just like what he sounds like, a soldier. Very strong, can take a lot of damage. Primarily uses a sword and shield. Although they can use pretty much any weapon, including firearms. So they're pretty good. Don't care for them that much, but kind of dull, straightforward. But they will survive in a long, drawn-out fight. Demolitionist, actually. Sorry. Like using weapon like firearms, crossbows, bows, projectile weapons, basically. They also throw bombs. They use destructive magic as well. So they're kind of an interesting class. I sometimes add them as a second class, which you can do once you hit level 10. But I never start off with a demolitionist. That's just my choice. You can do what you want, of course. The occultist is interesting because playing games over the years, including Warcraft, etc., I really enjoy classes that can use pets, hunters, etc. And these guys can use two types of pets. They use the crows, you can see in the illustration, and wolf slash something, which is a great combination. They follow orders, but they act very independently as well. They can cast spells on you and each other. In tight fights, they can save your butt, which is great. So they're a lot of fun to create, that class, the occultist. Also, they use magic that you can poison your enemies with. You can attack with acid, etc. They can use almost any weapon as well. So they're a nice overall class, plus they have those pets, which is great. Knightblade is basically the game's version of a rogue or a thief. They dual wield knives, blades, you name it. They're not very strong physically as far as like being able to stand up, survive in a stand-up fight. So they're kind of iffy if you get swarmed by mobs, which you often do in this game. They don't last very long. So you have to sort of, well, they have illusion magic and stuff. So there's ways to counteract their sort of weakness as far as stand-up melee is concerned. But so they're kind of interesting. I often use them as a secondary class as well. Arcanist is the weakest class going. He's basically the wizard, and he or she is very powerful magically. Total wuss, total tissue paper as far as like standing up to damage is concerned. A couple of hits and he's gone, done. So I would never start off with an Arcanist. I can sometimes, or would sometimes, add him as a second class when I get to level 10 to my main class. But honestly, I've never been terribly impressed by this class, sorry to say. The Shaman is interesting. He's one of my favorite. He or she, it is one of my favorite classes because they also have a pet, which is basically this sort of a large dog-shaped bush. That's the only way I can describe it. And they can wield two-handed swords, two-handed hammers, axes, etc. And they're really good fighters, as well as being able to cast a lot of magic on themselves that can run constantly. Sort of a cast and forget kind of thing. So it helps to shield them, helps to absorb damage, helps to heal them. And again, they've got the kick-ass pet, which is great. And if you combine the shaman and the occultist at level 10, you're going to have 3 pets with you at all times. And a whole bunch of spells that are just cast and forget to help protect you and help protect your pets. I find that the most devastating combo, the shaman / occultist for dual classes. But again, it's a personal choice. I'm sure there are people that play Grim Dawn that never play either one of these classes. They hate them, I'm sure. and maybe play Arcanist all the time. Which is, if you want a challenge, there you go. You can do that, or play, this guy and this guy together, because there you go. That's total wuss, very powerful. But you better kill stuff at a distance, because if you don't, it's gonna walk over you and stomp on your remains pretty darn quickly. Anyway, so I'm going to start off with a Shaman because, like I say, it's one of my favorite classes, and why not? So, then you have to put the points that you're given. You're given 3 points per level into the table here. So you have to add 1 first to access these first 3. And you get 3 to start off with. Brute Force, which you need a 2-handed weapon for, which you don't have yet, but you'll pick up fairly quickly. And it just kicks in as you fight. It's just an automatic thing. Same with Savagery. You can basically use this. If you look down here, you see your weapon attack. That's your basic weapon attack. It just, every time you right-click on a mob to hit it, it's accessing this slot here. So if you put a talent point in here, like that, and then you come down here and right-click on this slot, you can use Savagery as your default attack. And every time you swing your weapon, it charges up your next hit. So you hit for 30%, 50%, 65, 80, 100% of your damage on top of your regular damage. Does that make sense? I hope so. So that's pretty good. And then I'll also add this one as well, because I will definitely grab a 2-handed weapon as soon as one drops off a monster out of a crate or something. And there you go. One last little thing here is Devotion, which all classes get from the changes I just made. Now this is Devotion. If you look at all of these constellations, and there are lots of them, as you can see, just go on and on, which adds a lot of depth to the game. You start off, you don't have a devotion point yet, as you can see. You pick them up from shrines. When you unlock a shrine, you get a point. You'll see that later on. But you have to add a point to one of these 5 points of the star first. And when you add a point, it'll light up X amount of constellations. And I'll show you, like this one here is constellation. You start off putting a point here, and what it does is it gives you 25 health and plus 12 to defensive ability. And then you add another point, and another point. When you get to the last point here, it gives you, in this case, Turtle Shell, which when you drop down to 40% of health in a battle, it throws up a shield around you and will absorb 500 damage, which is pretty awesome in a fight where you're about to get your butt kicked, right? So anyway, they all do things like that. You've got Tsunami, which will flood your enemies with water and do damage. Ether Fire, which is, a fire attack, obviously, etc., etc. So that's Devotion. Alright, so let's continue on a little while longer here. See what's going on. Also, if you want to use the map, you can press either this guy here, this button here, or the M button on your keyboard and see where you've been. These are all good guys, or points of interest. So let's take a look here. Alright. Say hello to my little friend. Baboon. There you go. And there's a chest I can just peek into. Hello. I don't need that. Now this tunic. And when you hover over another item, it'll compare to one you already have on you, which is nice. And as you can see, unless your spirit is 56, you can't wear this novice chest armor. It's novice tunic. And like I said earlier, your spirit, your cunning, your physique are here, so hang on a second. Whoop. So anyway, point is, there we go. Unless your spirit's 56, you can't wear this. And that applies to a lot of weapons and armor throughout the game. You have to have a certain level of either strength or whatever to be able to use the weapon, the armor, the magical item, etc. So there's a gun, which I don't normally use with this class of character, but it's a better weapon than what I have right now, so just use that. And read the note, for which you get XP. Francis's note: I'm trapped here. I realize now I will die in this house. Margaret, I fear that you are already dead, and so it may not be so bad if I am shortly to join you. If by some miracle you yet live and return here to find this note, please know that I'm not angry with you. I never regretted our life together, but now only regret that I lost my temper and spoke unkind words to you when last we parted. Anyway, yada yada. So, to use the gun, obviously you shoot. But if you want to use the gun and not move, because normally you have to have something to shoot at like that. But if you try shooting at nothing, all you'll do is move. You can hold the shift key on your keyboard and just shoot wherever you want to without moving. That's a little trick I learned as I was going along. Okay, we haven't really gained much here, gained much ground. But this is just an intro to the game. I don't know how many people watching this have played it before. It's, like I say, it's an independent game, available on Steam. I think it's on sale right now for like $9, so it's not like it's expensive. And it's amazing. Like, this is just a small taste. This game is huge. It really is. Plus, like I said, DLCs, 2 of them now. Which just increased the game sort of exponentially, the size of it, the complexity of it, the quests, and there are lots of quests. And so, you know, this is just one of my favorite games to relax with. I hope that you've enjoyed this short Let's Play, and hopefully you'll come back and check out my next one, which may or may not be this game, or maybe I'll try something else. I've got a whole slew of games I like to do Let's Plays on. We'll see. So thanks very much, everybody, for watching, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye-bye.